Hey, we're back. We're live. I want to end the year on a light note. So I just want to cover a few things that worked in 2025 and then what we're going to be doing in 2026. A few changes and additions to this channel, as well as my agency. I am still battling a cough and it's affecting how I talk. I apologize for that. But I'm not going to stop just because of that. So let's press on. And this is going to be a mixture of both work and personal. I've talked on here about several transitions in the business, and those are still going to happen. But mostly what I wanted to chat about was a few wins. Let's start with the good. We're going to do, what is it, the bad news sandwich. So what worked in 2025? To be honest, I'm really proud that agency recurring revenue over at resonantpixel.co doubled. Almost doubled. It's a few bucks shy. So it's okay. To do that in the face of losing a few subscribers because of just businesses get acquired and change sometimes, or they go under, and there isn't anything an agency can do about that. But to add enough new subscribers to overcome that and still achieve the goal for the year, that is incredible. I'm very proud of that. Another one that I'm fairly proud of is being added to the Squarespace Expert Marketplace. I think it did generate a really great customer engagement, and I think that it is validation for the agency. So nothing but positive has come from that, as well as another Squarespace specific one is being added as a platinum circle partner. Achieving the number of points as a circle member that I need to achieve in order to accomplish that was a goal for the year as soon as they made the program updates. And to have done that, by the skin of my teeth, but done, then that is a boon for the agency that we're going to be able to leverage for additional growth in 2026. This YouTube Live, honestly, last January, I committed to doing this 3 days a week. And I don't know there's any direct correlation between having started producing content for YouTube and the growth of the business, because to be honest, the click funnels are spotty, but the two things did happen simultaneously. So I think there's a correlation there. It's just really difficult to build the model to, total attribution. But I'll tell you, even though I've dialed it down to 1 day a week, once we hit 100, in order to focus more time on doing YouTube videos about how to do things on Squarespace, which I'm going to get into. That's my next win. But to focus on these live shows, going live 3 days a week, build the muscle. It's proof that if you can block off the time and get the practice and do the reps and show up consistently, that good things happen and you get better at it. And I think having experienced that now is something I'm excited to use as momentum into the new year. And I would like to go live more often, but I have a plan. 2026 is coming. I'm going to continue going live here at 11 a.m. every single Friday for the foreseeable future. I think 1 day a week is about right now for what I'm doing. And the how-to videos, I don't know how many live videos I've done, 120 or so. But the how-to videos, I have hit a hiccup in producing those, but I'm still putting it up as a win. And mostly because of my illness here in December, which has been brutal. Having produced a few dozen how-to videos and seeing how they perform and the effect it has on the channel and the business is absolutely incredible. It's proof that you just need to make the things and show up and honestly be helpful. The production doesn't have to be amazing. You just need to produce it. And there's always room for more people to produce. Even if you think something's already been said and done, it doesn't mean it was said and done your way. And to have not just learned that, but lived it, I could not be more excited about the how-to videos. I have so many in queue. I would love to just start pushing out 3 to 5 of those every single week. That's the goal. So here's a couple things that did not work in 2025. I really wanted AI integration into the workflow. Not so much from a deliverable standpoint from the agency, but from a workflow at my desk standpoint. And it still feels incredibly siloed, which I don't love. I think that is still an area of opportunity, and the tools, and I know there are some great tools out there. I used to use one called Get Known, and that's sort of like an all-in-one AI solution. It seems like Google's heading in a similar direction with the whole stack of Gems and Notebook LM and all their AI tools. So I think that exists. It's just still really fragmented. So I'm going to continue to put effort into that in 2026. Now, here's something that did not work. I wanted to create a starter template for my team and I in Squarespace. We build Squarespace websites from scratch. We don't use templates. I don't buy templates. I don't sell templates. I love the template game. I have friends in the template game. It's an incredible business, but I'm not in that business. And I'm in the business of creativity from scratch. So we start with a very cool theme that we have access to as circle members in the Squarespace community called Blank. That's how we get started. And it feels like there are times when some of that work is redundant, and especially from an early setup standpoint, when you're just testing styles and doing things like having all the content blocks on a page where you can just sort of see how the styles affect everything. I set a goal to create our own starter theme just for us, unique to the business, that helped us pick up momentum very, very rapidly at the outset of a project. And it stalled, and the early trials didn't work so well. What did work was creating some sections that we were able to save, because you can share sections across multiple sites now that you can save them into your account. That worked. And I've got half a dozen of those saved. And that has gone better than the idea of a starter theme or template. So maybe the template thing isn't necessary anymore, and I'm just don't need to pick it up since you can share sections across multiple sites. Maybe that's the new solution, is that I build those. The problem is they're only accessible to my account. So each team member will have to have their own process to save each one of, like, I'd be like, here's 10 sections you need to save to your account too. And they don't update. They are absolutely just an archive. So it will be interesting to see how that evolves in 2026. Speaking of 2026, here's what's coming next. One, I'm really excited about this one. I can't reveal too much about it yet, but there is a new podcast coming. There is an absolute hole in the content world for Squarespace designers and developers who want to help one another in the podcast space. So there is a new podcast coming with my friend Olga, and we are going to do something I think is going to be a lot of fun, very informative, and very cool. Next, update to the company's perks, specifically AIO. Some people are calling it GEO, I think, or GIO. But I think we've settled on AIO, which is sort of like a replacement for SEO. maybe like a sister service where, you know, SEO was really important, but we were gaming a system. And I get emails fairly regularly from clients and other people who are just previous clients or friends, colleagues, advisors, mentees, mentors. Like, how do I rank in ChatGPT? Rank doesn't. We know it doesn't really work that way. So after I've explained that, I come to the realization again. I don't know why, I don't know if you have multiple realizations, but I came to the realization again that there's an opportunity there to offer something as a company that helps move away from ongoing SEO, which we don't do a ton of. It's more of like an initial setup. But with AI, there's definitely an ongoing element to it, because these chats, these discussions with the LLMs have to they have to stay open. You have to maintain those. Recency being relevancy could not be more important in that space. So I think there's an opportunity there. And I know Squarespace is adding features around that right now. I'm beta testing some of them. I think that we can do something as a company to help people navigate that. And it's not just a feature to the program, to the subscription program. I think it's also content. That's why I'm sort of setting it aside. Like, I could just say, hey, I've changed the amount of time for our guaranteed delivery. That you can just do. A few conversations later, it's fine. It doesn't affect anyone who's already a subscriber, just new subscribers. And they don't know the difference from the past. They weren't there. But when it comes to programmatic ones and services that change, that affect current subscribers, I think it's better to be more thorough and communicate that and explain the value of it. So there's definitely a content aspect there. The next one would be, I don't know when I did this video about the last step in the last phase of the credibility playbook, the process at resonantpixel.co, is celebrate success. And one of them is this chart, this table that I created in Canva that people have access to, that allows, it's a system for creating like a number of ideas for an entire year of content. And it's pretty cool. It's like 3 ideas of things that I've gone through in different programs over the years, kind of jammed into one. And I think that is an antiquated way of doing this type of thing now, or will be soon. So in the new year, that needs to be either an app or a custom GPT of some kind. As people increase in their comfort level of interacting with LLMs and different AI tools, I think moving that specific process into something that they're going to use more frequently than just a whiteboard is probably a good idea. More how-to videos. My entire process is going to be in how-to videos. I'm done like gatekeeping the expertise and how we get things done. It's time to just share it all, share the entire process. And I've already talked about the new WOW Flutter program, and WOW is going to go out entirely public. And what you'll pay for from a cohort standpoint is my coaching you through it, or the accountability, or having access to be able to ask questions and get help and not feel like you're doing it all alone. I think that's the differentiator in 2026. And I think gatekeeping expertise used to work in the agency space, and it used to work in the training space, but really that is a wall that has been smashed down. So I'm just moving in that direction. And then finally, 15 minutes in, finally, on a personal note, less drums. I hate to say it, but I do play the drums in several bands and play a lot of clubs here in the Atlanta area. I have so many tremendous friends in that space and that community. I love it. And it's something I'm pretty good at. I've been playing the drums for like 40 years now. So I know my way around a little bit. I will say that my throat feels like crap. It was too much in 2025. I need to focus, spending more time with the family, spending more time with work, and that will mean as a couple of these bands, I think one specifically will dissolve here in the new year. Not replacing those will probably be important to making sure that that happens, and I'm creating more space for business success because needs to it needs to take off. And as of right now, at the outset, it is going slowly, but it is also December 26th. I know I'm dating this by saying the date. Yeah. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I know this was a light one. I'm not all expertise in, everybody should do stuff a certain way. But join me next Friday live right back here. I appreciate you. Have a great new year, and I will see you then.